Good afternoon. My name's Chad, and I'm with Straightforward Angling. Today we're filming our first ever video here, and what we are working on is our tackle box for an upcoming Canadian trip we have. A group of us are going up, about 8, and a handful of the guys going with are really green when it comes to fishing. So I thought what I would do is assemble their tackle boxes for the boat. We'll be fishing in pairs with a guide, and this is based off of past experience going to this location on the Winnepeg River. We border the Manitoba and Ontario border, fishing with guides from Eagle Nest Lodge, and that time of year, early June, we're going to actually start fishing June 1st. We'll be fishing for walleye, smallies, and pike. Those are the target species. The target, we're not trophy fishing. Maybe catch some master anglers based on Manitoba requirement or guidelines for smallmouth bass. We'll likely catch a few of those. Walleye, maybe the biggest, to be in that 24-inch, and there could be a 40+ inch pike caught here or there. But the setups that we're going with are mainly going to be for kind of the volume of fishing and kind of the excitement getting people hooked on it. So it's a quantity Canadian trip, and it's a quality trip with that. What I'll typically do is gear the guys up with two setups. One would be a medium light fast, running 10-pound braid to a 10-pound floral leader. The other one would be more likely just a medium setup with 15 to 20-pound braid. That we typically will be utilized if for pike. We'll tie on directly to a steel leader, and casting some spoons and some hair jigs along with that. If we do have some, and we'll have some rods up there, medium heavies, with heavier setups to throw some glide baits, some larger spoons, and bucktails for days that we feel like maybe the bigger pike are moving into the weed areas that are starting to develop that early in the season. But the primary two would be a medium setup and a medium light setup for this group of guys. We'll start our days off really, walleye first. The guides are going to want to go get our shore lunch caught. For some of these novice fishermen, the guides will likely bottom bounce along some weed beds, just again to catch some fish. So we're going to take some stuff up to be prepared for that, based on past experience, in some bottom bouncer and some spinner setups. We'll likely be bottom bouncing in 10 to no more than 20 feet, likely around that 14 to 15 foot of water. So I'll pack a couple, not snaggy, so we don't need a whole bunch of stuff. We're not going to lose tackle, and again, if you do, there's tackle shops up there. But we'll go with some 1 ounce and 1.5 ounce bottom bouncers brought along, and just a small assortment of spinners. We're not going to have crawler harnesses. We'll use single hooks because we'll tip these with either a gulp or a frozen salted minnow. But get that flash in there, running about a 4-foot leader on these spinners with, again, a single hook, and we'll have that available too. Now, walleye wise, I personally prefer to jig that time of year, so we're going to have lots and lots of jigs, not only for that, but for casting shorelines. And so we'll have primarily a 1/4 ounce jigs. You want lots because you can get snagged. You're going to get bit off, especially with the floral leader. And any kind of jig will work. I mean, this is a barbless fishing experience, so we're going to be pinching all the barbs on it. So just be prepared to go through a lot. Assorted colors like green chartreuse. We got white. We got kind of a mix. And then also I have some 1/4 ounce with a longer shank hook. For running some of the longer plastics. But for jigging walleye, we'll likely use 1/4 ounce. I do have some 3/8 ounce packed for these tackle boxes, depending on the depth that we're going to possibly be at. Again, I don't suspect it to be overly deep, but there could be some current seams, particularly on the river system when we come out of those back bays. Again, tipped with either a gulp or salted minnow on that. But primarily, a lot of our fishing is going to be casting towards shore, working kind of rock lines, points, reefs, and so forth. So we'll be casting jigs and using paddle tails. I'm a paddle tail guy. You could use a curly tail, whatnot, but we're going to be using paddle tails anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5 inch presentations. I got a white here with a little silver flake. You know, these typically come 10 per pack. You know, around $5. You can, you know, get some more robust ones, a little more expensive, fewer per pack. But with these Canadian trips, you're going to go through a lot because you're going to have a lot of fish hookups. But bring lots of white. You can just solid white with silver flake. Definitely want to have a chartreuse green type. Here we have, you know, green. I love the walleye assassins. But these Cabela's ones are good as well. And we have some white, again, white here, white belly with a chartreuse sparkle top. And then a couple other colors I've had good success with just here in North Dakota during springtime pike fishing, some of these smaller rivers. Is this one here by Impulse, what they call the electric chicken. Just the name alone is exciting. And then some watermelon colors to give you a little bit of that crayfish appearance. So we'll go through lots of this. You know, there's, you know, about 60, 70 plastics here, various different colors. Feel free to put more. As we assemble this tackle box, it's not like we're going to burn through all this, right? This is just to get these guys going, get them started, get them out there, and get them to have some fun. As the days, you know, progress and so forth, we're going to calm days and stuff that time of year. We might be able to locate some bass on their beds. So we definitely want to have some Ned rigs available. I like to bring two sizes along. Here I have a 1/4 ounce as well as a 3/16. A lot of the beds are going to be gravel based, you know, around boulders and stuff, not a lot of weed. So you don't have to really do that. But we'll tip these with you know, a worm on the end. You can buy a Ned rig 3-inch, 3.5-inch Ned rig worms to bait up your hook, but I just buy these here 6-inch worms. These are 5 actually, so I'll be, you know, cut these in half and utilize it that way. Maybe get some 6-inch so I got a little longer. Also, because these Ned rigs work really well for walleye, and walleye maybe particularly in some early growth weed areas along the shore. I'll bring some 3/16 Ned rigs as well that are with the weed on them, weed control. And we'll work those. And the other part of what we'll do is obviously the pike, and we're going to catch lots of pike throwing these jigs with paddle tails and so forth. But as we maybe find an area where we feel that pike are concentrating based on some guide input and stuff, and we're potentially, you know, we can catch that 40+ incher, we'll utilize on that medium rod. In the case where we have some of the medium heavies along. We'll tie, you know, that 15 to 20 pound, up to 30 pound braid direct to a steel leader. Yeah, about 18 inches is 30 pound strength, and we'll cast lots of spoons. And color-wise, you know, they're gonna go more for the flash, but I like blue silver combinations. Fire Tiger works. You got your chartreusey yellow. You got your 5 of diamonds. But you're going to be casting basically 5/8 to up to 7/8 pushing it on that type of setup. But it will work. Just have to lob it out a little more. Also, I like to do hair jigs, larger hair jigs. These are 3/8. These will work for some walleye too. But this works really, really well for pike, kind of a slow retrieve, bouncing along. And put this direct to your steel leader and so forth, and these will work well. These are 3/8 inch and a couple different color assortments on it. Key thing you want to do on that, particularly when you're fishing for pike, is find the longer shank hook. These do come, if other brands are out there, the shorter shank hook, just like the lead head jigs or the ball jigs. You want to have a long and short available, but when you're going to do these and throw for pike, make sure you get a longer shank hook on them. That'll help mitigate some you know, some of the bite downs, bite offs and whatnot, particularly if you're not using a steel leader. Another thing I'd like to have along and work in Canada a little bit is if we do find some of those walleye that we can jig for, we could also do a little drop shot, or we can drop shot into the rocks along shorelines and reefs from some of the smallies. So bring some number 2 hooks along, and we'll have that along with our drop shot hooks, a couple different weights, maybe go in that 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, 1/4 ounce could work as well. And you want to also, in addition to the plastics, I would also suggest taking some blue shiner, kind of these gulp minnows along. That'd be good to tip your drop shot, as well as a salted minnow you can use too. But these will last longer than salted minnows and so forth. And when you do get into them, whether it's walleye with a jig, drop shot, or some of these small bass, these are a little more durable, and you're not baiting every time. I do have some recommendations here to have in the box, particularly if you got more of a medium heavy setup, so you can do a little larger, like 1 1/4 ounce casting spoon, and make sure your spoons are casting spoons. And you definitely take a glide bait along and give that a try. I always want to have extra line along. You just never know, you might have a mess up of things here or there. And you definitely have your fluoro along, around that 10 pound, so that you're tying leaders back on as you snag off, get bit off. Those 4 or 6 foot leaders you start with surely could get munched down pretty quick. You have some heavier braid available to allow for respooling that medium setup, and then some 10 pound braid for that medium light. If needed. It's always better to be prepared than not. Again, this stuff comes home with you. I always pack the scissors along. Don't use your teeth to get your line cut. Little inexpensive scissors, a little clip on it. Pliers, they're going to be a must. Guides are going to have these too, but it's always good to have replication A. You can help get your own hook out, but you're going to need to pinch the barbs as regulations up there. What I'll do is I'll pack a couple of these per soft-sided bag that I'll have, and for the guys that don't fish much, I'll likely write kind of like 1/4 ounce jig, 3/8 ounce jig, so that they get a feel for what they have and whatnot. And we'll pack that, a couple of those in plastics to stay in the bag and go there. One of the things too, as our day wraps up with our guided fishing, we'll be heading back to camp, have dinner, and opportunities in the evening to take boats out by ourselves as a group and have additional fishing time. Usually what we'll do there is fish around camp, working some of the current breaks and the reefs out in the river system. And what I like to do there is just take a flicker shad or any type of shad that you can get diving down in that 15 or so foot of water, a little deeper maybe. And just troll these along, kind of shoot tell jokes, have a good time, a smile and a laugh, but also maybe pick up a walleye or two. And then you might stumble across a little bit bigger one, maybe a 24, 26 incher along the way. And again, the systems up there are full of fish. They're aggressive. They don't have near the pressure that I experience here with the fish in North Dakota. But this is again, straightforward angling is kind of just getting kicked off. The concept here is really go out and film and have a lot of fun, and bring some laughs and excitement, and maybe a nice fish or two to the camera for you to view. We're going to do other things too. Again, straightforward is simple, right? This is not to be overcomplicated. This is, you don't have to have the best. But we're going to be fishing from shore. We're going to fish from kayaks. We're going to fish from larger boats. We're going to maybe even a little wading here and there. We're going to fish for, whether it's hard water season, open water season, perch, eater perch, little, quantity. We're going to fish for walleye. We're going to fish for pike. We're just going to fish. And, if you learn something from it, great. But if you have, if you have a little entertainment along the way, we'd love to hear back from you too, as this goes along with suggestions and recommendations. The biggest part about it, again, is to have fun, to enjoy it, keep it simple, and try not to overdo it. And as we experience things, share it with you. But I hope you enjoy these. This may or may not come out before our trip. This may or may not be the first one we do. I do want to do one with some quick knot tying again for this group that's going with us to help them along. Just kind of knots that I use, maybe out of ease, maybe out of just growing up using them. So how to tie a jig, how to tie a hook, what loops and whatnot. So we'll do a little bit of that along the way too. So again, thank you, and go out and catch some fish, and keep everything moving forward. Have a great day.